The best e-commerce brands in the world invest in SEO, but ironically, not every brand actually should. I know it's a bit of a hot take, but it really is a waste of time and money for all kinds of e-commerce brands. And there are three really main types of brands that I've identified that should not invest in SEO, at least not right now. And so today I'm going to break down what those three brands are, and if you fit one of these three categories, what you should do instead. So let's get into it. First and most common archetype I see of brands that absolutely should not invest in SEO, at least not right now, is if you're selling something new. You created a new kind of product, new niche, new invention, whatever. It is brand new, okay? The reason SEO is not going to work for you is because no one yet knows about it. No one knows about your new invention, your new product, your new niche, okay? SEO is a demand conversion channel, okay? It is not a demand generation channel, okay? If you want to create something totally new, never been done before, build out an entirely new niche, whatever it may include, okay? You need to do so through paid social and organic social, okay? That is the only way you can reach net new audiences to put your product in front of people, okay? With a new product, you are quite literally trying to find product market fit. You cannot do that in a channel like SEO, okay? To make money through SEO, that requires for people to search for your products on Google or some other search engine so that they can then buy them, okay? No one is going to search for something that they're not quite literally not even aware of, okay? If it's a new invention, no one's heard of it, okay? The same thing will go with Google Ads as well, right? Google Ads will apply to these same kinds of brands. If I create a new type of, new type of hoodie as an example, right? And it's, it does whatever it does. No one is going to search for it on Google because no one is aware that it exists yet, okay? So SEO and Google Ads are going to be a waste of your time and money, okay? You need to generate more awareness via organic social, via paid social, news channels, whatever it may be, okay? You were looking at the very top of the funnel. You were trying to find product market fit, okay? In SEO, you are limited by search volume, okay? New products don't have any search volume. Sorry to be the one to tell you that, but no one is going to search something that doesn't exist, right? So whether it's, Meta, whether it's Pinterest, whether it's TikTok, whatever, okay? If you're creating a new product, SEO is going to be a waste of time for you until the category is big enough that thousands of people are searching on a monthly basis to go then buy said product, okay? So at your kind of genesis moment of creation, not going to be valuable to you. Fast forward 6 months, 12 months, potentially you've gone viral, the product category has emerged, there's other brands at play. At that point, yeah, absolutely SEO is going to be a worthwhile investment. But closer to your genesis, not going to be the case, okay? Brand type number 2, you have low margins, okay? SEO can take a few months to work, right? If you're a 7-8 figure brand, even so, you're going to start to see a positive ROI probably around months, 3, 4, 5 on average, assuming you're in a average competitive niche, okay? Now, if you're selling supplements or something, going to be a longer timeline to ROI because it's so competitive, okay? Now, because it takes a few months to generate a positive ROI, if you have low margins, that is going to put a pretty tremendous strain on your business and your finances and your cash flow, right? So low margins are not great unless you are willing to ride it out, or unless you have a lot of capital where you can comfortably ride out kind of that timeline to 1x ROI and beyond, right? Now, if you can, great. Fast forward, a handful of years, months even, you will be looking at well beyond, 5x ROIs and growing, right? I work with brands and our agency that have, as high as 20, 25x ROIs after 2 years of working with us. So, and they have solid margins, right? But the point is you can hit a 20x plus ROI at some point in the future, as long as you're willing to, kind of ride it out really until that moment in time. Okay. So if you have low margins, you're low on cash, not going to be a good fit for you. Okay. It is going to be very hard for you to justify the long time to ROI and long time it's going to take to drop kind of your customer acquisition costs. Okay. Now, drop shippers tend to fit into kind of the low margin category, right? You're looking at sub 40% probably on margins. I think the best, I think there's still in some niches, there's a very good fit for SEO and drop shipping. I think high ticket drop shipping and SEO are one of the greatest combinations ever. I see tons of brands crushing, tons of drop shippers crushing it with SEO. And that's just because they put a lot of emphasis on it up front. And then they did SEO up front. They put in all of the kind of components they needed, all, the category pages, the product pages, some blog content, some link building, all those kinds of things very early on. They also were very aware that their payout was not going to come on that investment until a year or more down the road, right? So they also did paid ads on top of it so they could start driving money right now. Now, my last video was about, paid ads and SEO all kind of interact with one another. So if you find yourself in like that situation, go watch that video. Okay. It is going to show you it is going to demonstrate to you how to set up SEO at the start and how to use leverage paid ads and SEO to better essentially one another. Okay. So definitely go check that video out. Third and last most common archetype, and I see this with brands that want to work with our agency, like as prospects. I see it with brands that do, I consult on, that I do group coaching for, all these kinds of things. Okay. You're impatient. And not only are you impatient, but you're impatient and you also exist in a hyper competitive vertical. Okay. Some of the most, and this is going to go for all kinds of channels, not just SEO, but in terms of SEO, some of the most competitive niches, like industries, beauty, supplements, fashion, luxury goods, even, right? Now, the reason those are so competitive is you're competing against brands that have been around for decades and have invested tons of hundreds of thousands of dollars in SEO over the course of those decades. Okay. So if you're not willing to write it out for at least a year or more, you can't expect to close a gap on a brand that's been doing SEO for 10 plus years in a few months. You have to be willing to go at least a year to do the distance. I've worked with brands, I worked with a supplement company before, and 2 months in, they're like, this isn't working for us. Well, you picked one of the most competitive industries known to man in e-commerce. I cannot believe you thought SEO was going to work in 2 months, right? That's just a bit irresponsible. Okay. So you have to be willing to go the distance on these things. So if you are impatient, if you need money, if you need to make a return on your investment next month, like this quarter, whatever, just spend more money on paid ads. SEO is just simply not going to be a fit for you. Now, if you want to drop your blended CAC over time, and I mean 9, 12 months or longer, which ideally will be the lifetime of your brand. If you want to drop your CAC over that time, SEO is going to be a really good channel. If you're all looking a year out in advance, I would assume you are probably not as impatient as brands who need to make money, next month, right? I always say, not always say, but a lot of the brands we work with at our agency are 7, 8 figures. Those brands have enough cash flow to ride out for a few months to their business can withstand 3, 4 months of a negative ROI or, a less than 1x ROI until, finally you hit a 1x ROI around month 4, 5, 6, like I said. And then after that, it's pretty much up from there, right? Those brands that can rent it out for a year or more, they're going to see, returns on their initial SEO investment, 10, 20x times the size, right? Which is going to have a massive impact on their blended CAC, on all kinds of margins, all that good stuff, right? So if you can look a year ahead in advance and be like, yes, I want to do this, great. SEO is going to be a really good fit for you. If you need to make money, like I said, next month, next week, next quarter, whatever, SEO is not going to be a good fit for you. And quite frankly, you should just save your money. I do not believe it's a good investment for you at all. Agency, freelancer, in-house, none of it's going to be a good fit, right? You're going to spend the money. You're going to increase your logistical kind of intensity within your brand. And at the end of the day, you're just going to cause yourself more stress and you're going to have less money to be stressed about. Okay. So not a good fit. See you guys tomorrow. New video.